kung pag-uusapan natin. So, sinubukan ko rin. Halina kayo, Tatay Jack, first channel, pag siya ay nagsasalita na iintindihan mo ang mga balita. Mga balitang tunay na may bibensya, itutuloy ang balitang malay. Fake news, mga balitang walang pinagbarasihan. Kaya makinig na kayo at magkomento at ating pag-usapan. Pinapakinggan ang opinion mo. At ito'y nirespeto dahil ibang kalakayan at may kantahan dito. Pantay-pantay tayo lahat kay tayo. Channel na ang loyalis sa ating mundo para sa bayan nito. Bayan nito. Minamahal ni Tatay Jack ang tayong Pilipino. Kaya halina kayo. Halina kayo. Mag-subscribe na at mag-bell para sa susunod. Dapat mayaman nyo, itang tunay sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Ang pagmamahal sa ating mga Pilipino. Ating tuwing ang balita news. Kaya matulungan mo na at pag-alorday. Pantay-pantay tayo dito. Pinapakinggan ang opinion mo. Respeto tayo. Pinagpapasihan dito. At may kantaan pa. Tamay!
Okay, let's play our national anthem. As usual po, dumating na si Ilocano ako sa LS natin. Napilitan ko pong i-present ang video ni Pbbm kasi may mga nagsasabing wala daw ginagawa sa Bicol ang ating presidente. Nag-fake news na naman sila. At saka sabi ni VP Sara, hindi ra marunong mamuno ang ating presidente. Sa kalamidad na dinudulot ni Crisis, nasaan si VP Sara? Wala po, hindi po natin siya makita. Samantalang ang ating presidente na mahusay mamuno ay inaasikaso niya ang mga problema sa dinulot ng Bagyong Christine. Hindi lang siya basta nananahimik sa palasyo ng Malacanang. Ganyan ang tunay na leader. Hindi yung puro dada, puro paninira. Pero pinagtaunan lang siya ng ating presidente sa kanyang mga sinasabi. Alam niya kasi, ito yung mga sinabi niya, ay hindi nang gagaling sa matinuang isip. Hindi on that occasion, ang sabi niya, sa aking opinion, that occasion na nag-press con si BP Sara, ay hindi po matino ang isip ni BP Sara. Dahil siguro sa galit, okay? Pero hindi ko sinasabing sira ulo si BP Sara. On that occasion sa press con, she lost her mind out of spite, out of anger. Okay. That is yung una kong sasabihin. Wala siya. Hindi mo siya makita sa panahong may crisis. Tulad nung lumipat siya patungong Germany, nakasaksagan ng kalamidad. Ganyan din ngayon ang nangyayari. Kaya panurin natin ang ating magiting na presidente after ng ating Philippine National Anthem. Wala yata yung okay, handle lang po. We have to play the Philippine National Anthem, okay? We have to love our country. Hindi pwede yung iniidolo nating politiko. Mahalin natin ng ating bansang Pilipinas. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for viewing our national anthem. Okay, let's go straight to the video of how the president deals with the current typhoon Christine crisis. Okay. Bakit maliit? Bakit maliit ang image? Okay. Medyo ayusin ko lang sandali yung hindi ko alam kung paano ko ayusin ito eh. Sandali lang po. I don't know how to fix this. It's the same problem. take a few minutes lang po. Importante po kasi itong video ito. Okay, I think I did it. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lord. I was able to fix it. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. This is our SOP. Every time we have a storm coming into our area of responsibility.
Kita niyo, this year, sasabihin ko na, ginagawa niya ang dapat yan gawin. Marunong siyang mamuno. Taliwas po ang sinasabi ng Vice Presidente na hindi marunong mamuno ang ating Presidente. Ito po ang patunay na nagsisinungaling po si VP Sara. Okay. At sa mga vloggers na wala daw ginagawa si PBBM ay puro mga sinungaling yan. Kaya nga ako ngayon ay out of schedule po ang aking LS kasi ito ang pagpapatunay ng mga peking channels ang nagpapalabas na wala daw ginagawa ang presidente sa Bicol. Yeah, galit na galit nga ako eh.
We'll start today with the before we have already people moving, starting to approach the area, but we cannot really do much until the storm passes. And not the storm, but the severe weather. Anyway, let's proceed. Let me call to order the situation briefing on Storm Christine.
There is a briefer. Let's start with let's go down our usual procedure and start with the weather situation from Pag-asa.
Oh.
Good morning, Mr. President and distinguished members of the cabinet. Allow me to present the DOST Pag-asa brief report on tropical storm Christine as of 8 this morning.
Ganyan ang presidente, inaalam muna niya ang problema. Hindi yung basta action siya na hindi niya alam ang problema. Ibahin natin ang ating magaling na presidente. Napapansin nyo, na parati na niyang katabi ang aking kandidato sa pagka-presidente sa 2028, GIBO, TEODORO. Okay?
Slide, please. This is actually the current satellite image showing the circulation of Storm Christine. Nasa east pa ng Luzon ang sentro nito, but the cloudiness associated with the storm is located west or south of the storm center. And currently it is located 310 kilometers east of Baler, Quezon.
Bakit ko pinipresent po ito? Kasi karamihan, pinipresent yung kibuloy videos at saka yung mga quadcom. Pero importante po ito na makita natin ang ginagawa ng presidente. Mamaya natin didiscuss yung testimonya ni laban kay Kibuloy at sa EJK killings. Mas importante po ito. Ito po ang hindi nakikita ng ibang vlogger. Mahilig sila sa sensationalism. But they do not really present what is really happening in our country. The present situation in our country is there is a typhoon. Bakit nauna yung tungkol kaila Apollo Kibuloy at saka mga EJK when there is a crisis now in the Philippines caused by Typhoon Christine? Parang wala silang sense of the right priorities. Pero tayo hindi tayo ganon. Hindi tayo mahilig sa sensationalism. We present what is truly important. Maski walang manood po. That is my basic principle in life. In my LS, we present to you yung mga importante na nagaganap na tungkol sa aktual na sitwasyon sa natapanahon ngayon. So, ang una, sinabi ni Vice Presidente na hindi daw marunong umupo ang ating President. He does not know how to lead. That is, ito ang sampal sa kanya. Nasaan ka, Vice Presidente? Puro ka dada. Samantalang ang aming Presidente, hindi ka nga pinapansin eh. Puro nagtatrabaho siya. Okay?
With maximum sustained winds of 85 kilometers per hour at bugso na abot ng 105 kilometers per hour, moving west-northwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Yes, next slide please. Now,
sino yung katabi niya ulit? Si GIBO TEODORO. Nasa right hand man niya. Okay.
almost the whole of northern. Yes, po.
With the forecast times when the center of the storm will be at what time?
Yes, and the succeeding slides. The whole of northern, central, and southern Luzon is under signal number 2, while the whole of Visayas I covered or under signal number 1. In particular, under signal number 2, the provinces of Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Apayao,
Kasali rin pala ang Pangasinan. Kaya importante.
Abra, Kalinga, Mountain Province, Ifugao, Benguet, Mainland, Cagayan, Isabela, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Aurora, Nueva Ecija. And next slide, please. Bulacan, Tarlac, Pampanga, Zambales, the northern and eastern portion of Quezon, including Bolillo Islands, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, Albay, and the northeastern portion of Sorsogon. Next slide, please. While signal number 1 in the provinces of Batanes, Babuyan Islands, Bataan, Metro Manila, Rizal, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, the rest of Quezon, Occidental Mindoro, including Lubang Island, Oriental Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, Calamian Islands, the rest of Sorsogon, and Masbate, including Tigao and Borjas Island. Yes, sir.
You don't have to read out every single.
Yes, sir.
We have this
Yes, yes, sir.
information. Okay, let's
Next slide, please. Okay, this is actually, Mr. President, the track of Tropical Storm Christine. It is moving westward the next 12 hours and then westward. No? Ito po ay inasahan na maglandfall sa may Isabela or Northern Aurora mamayang gabi or early morning tomorrow, October 24. Inasahan ito na mag-exit ng Philippine Area of Responsibility on Friday, October 25. Now, we expect also na the storm will slightly intensify into a severe tropical storm bago po ito maglandfall in the area. And then, upon crossing Northern Luzon, nasa natin na mag-weaken slightly. Next slide, please. What to expect in terms of heavy rainfall? Inasa natin today ang intense to torrential rainfall, more than 200 millimeters of rain.
Grabe.
Sa lalawigan ng Cagayan, Isabela, Apayao, Aurora, Quezon, Catanduanes, Camarines Norte, and Camarines Sur. While heavy to intense rainfall, the rest of Cagayan Valley, the rest of Caldera Administrative Region, Ilocos Region, Rizal, Albay, and Sorsogon. While moderate to heavy rainfall today, the rest of Central Luzon, Calabarzon, including Metro Manila, Occidental Mindoro, Oriental Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, Calamian Islands, Masbate, and Northern Samar. For tomorrow, inasahan natin na napakalakas sa mga pagulan sa mga lalawigan ng Pampanga, Pangasinan, Zambales, and La Union. Samantala, heavy to intense rain the rest of Ilocos region, CAR, and Bataan. While moderate to heavy rains tomorrow in Tarlac, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Bulacan, Metro Manila, Cavite, Batangas, and Occidental Mindoro. Now, on Friday, we expect a gradual improvement of the weather, but moderate to heavy rains ay amasahan pa rin sa mga lalawigan ng Pangasinan, Zambales, and La Union. Dahil during this day, in-expect natin na lalabas na po ang bagyong si Christine. Next slide, please po. In terms of severe winds, dahil sa malawak ang circulation na sakop ng Christine, even those hindi sakop ng signal, storm wind signal, even in Mindanao, ay nasa natin na makakaranas na malakas na hangin. No? For today, Mimaropa, Visayas, and Mindanao. For tomorrow, ito po yung mga lugar or provinces na magkaranas na malalakas na hangin. And on Friday as well. Next slide, please. Dahil po inasahan natin mga lugar na under signal number 2 habang papalapit ang bagyong Christine sa kalupaan ng Northern and Central Luzon, nasa natin ang storm surge, no? Napalabas ang DOST pag-asa ng storm surge warning. Ang orange colored, ito po yung mga dalampasigan na makakaranas na ang storm surge na between 2 to 3 meters. Kaya ipinapayuhan natin ating mga kababayan living along these coastal areas na maghanda o maging alerto. While yung kadilaw, ito po yung up to 2 meters wave height dahil sa storm surge. Next slide, please. Now, ito naman po ang status ng ating mga dams. Although generally, mga dams level natin ay safe. But like, for example, ang GAT, bagamat makyat ng 0.34 meters, but ang normal high level niya ay mataas pa. Yes, please.
We should be keeping an eye on. There are 2 pages to this actually. So far, ang pinakamalapit is Pantabangan to the high level, normal high water level, if I'm not mistaken. Nonetheless, but whatever it is, meron pa yata dito. 58.5. Anyway, we have to watch this carefully because we're just beginning. This is just the start of the rainfall.
Kita mo, alam niya ang problema. Alam niya mag-assess ng problema. Ganyan ba ang di marunong maupo? My goodness. Hindi alam ni BP ang kanyang sinasabi. Puro lang siya akusa.
We're all right for now, but mukhang inevitable na mag-overflow, mag-release tayo ng tubig. So let's already start thinking about the downstream areas na tatamaan when we release when we are forced to open some of the gates.
Kita mo, namamaga ang mata ng ating presidente. Ibig sabihin, napupuyat siya sa aburido. Tignan nyo. Pero despite that, nagtatrabaho pa rin siya.
Para palabasin yung para pabagayin yung tubig. Pero planuhin natin na mabuti. Maybe if what we can do is do a measured response. Kahit hindi pa high water level, magbitaw na tayo ng kaunti.
Palagay nyo ba mayroong kakayanan ng ganyan ang ating vice presidente? Sa totoo lang, wala pa ako nakikita ang ganyang kakayanan ng ating vice presidente.
Pababain na natin na hindi apektado yung mga downstream communities.
No.
Magbitaw na
Hindi po apektado, pati yung mga downstream communities, inalagaan niya. Alam niya talaga ang problema. Ina-anticipate niya na dapat pangalagaan ang kaligtasan ng ating mga mamamayan. Di ba? Dapat yan ang ginagawa ng isang magaling at matinong pinuno. Okay.
tayo ng tubig. Para pagdating ng malakas na ulan, mababa na, hindi naman mababa, pero mas naibaba natin yung tubig.
Okay. Sino ang katabi niya? Nandyan si Anton Lagdameo. Nandyan sa kanang kamay ni Presidente, si GIBO TEODORO, ang ating kandidato sa 2028. Anong mga sinasabi ng mga ibang PBBM vloggers? Kung talagang galit po si PBBM kay Anton Lagdameo, hindi niya isasali si SAP Anton Lagdameo. Sampal ito sa mga PBBM vloggers na basa-basa na lang pag-aakusa ng walang sapat na katibayan. Ulitin ko, nandyan si Anton Lagdameo. Nasa kaliwang kamay niya. Pero ang kanang kamay niya ay ang ating kandidato para sa 2028, si GIBO TEODORO. Okay?
Para meron tayong konting meron tayong konting breathing room. Ika nga, we have a little area to watch na hindi pa paabutin natin sa
nagsusumamo si tatay na yung iba dyan, mag-subscribe naman kayo sa isang channel na hindi nag-fake news. May sarili siyang opinion, pero ang i-present niya parati ay hindi fake news. Kaysa yung mga nag-fake news na wala daw ginagawa ang ating presidente, ay libo-libo ang nanood doon. Pero dito, na tunay ang pinipresent na news ay kukunti ang nanonood. Pero hindi bale. Para sa mga konting nanonood, at least alam nyo, tunay ang aking ipinapayag na balita. Okay?
high water. Well, it's the gate open, but wala pa naman so far.
Mr. President,
Yes.
that's continued spillage
Yeah.
for and
Yes. So let's think about what can the downstream community is tolerate in terms of additional water, and do that, and try to release that amount, just that amount. Na hindi magkakadamage, hindi sala, hindi mababaha, hindi ba yung kaya nung actual na outflow na hindi na abala yung mga downstream communities. In other words, let's try to get the levels as low as we can without affecting the downstream communities bago pa dumating yung malaking ulan.
Di ba? Alam niya ang kanyang ginagawa. Talang isa dyan, di alam ang ginagawa. Di yata matino ang isip.
Because from what we're looking at, it really looks like this storm is more about flooding. May hangin ng konti, but it's not to the extent of the other super typhoons that we have seen so far. So again, water level seems to be the key.
Sinasabi niya, hindi masyadong grabe ang hangin, pero expect po ang flooding. Ini-expect na niya. So ini-expect yung mga tao naman, pag nagkaba, i-blame si Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Nakalimutan nila na may 6 na taon si PRD na hindi na-resolve ang problema sa baha. Okay?
Factor for Christine. All right, so please carry on.
That's all, Mr. President, for my president.
Thank you. Now, the OCD, I think, has some information to provide.
Good morning, Mr. President and cabinet members. So may I have the presentation, please, for Office of Civil Defense. Next slide, please. So the scope of the presentation would be the situation overview, or and then the humanitarian effects, the response, and the gaps. Next slide. This has already been presented by the PAGAS. So next slide, please. So basically, Mr. President and cabinet members, you've seen already in the reports that the massive flooding and unprecedented flooding happened in Region 5. Although, because of the massive or the circulation and the rain band, it also affected other areas you would see that the darker parts are the severity of the flooding events, specifically in Region 5. And if you would look at it, more than 23,000, more than 150,000 has been affected. Next slide. And in terms of casualties, it's very minimal as of this point in time. And there was already the suspension of classes and the declaration of state of calamity. Next slide. And in terms of status of lifelines, as of this point in time as well, as of reporting time, still as minimal as that. But I think the most important thing to look at, and especially and as the reports come in or the information comes in, would be the damages on agriculture and even of the livelihood assets of the people. Next slide. Yes, sir.
Can we go on back?
Yes, sir.
One quick.
The previous slide, please.
All right. This is the status of lifelines is something important that we have to monitor na mabuti.
Yes.
Simply because we are going to go into the storm affected areas at some point. So what we have to know for our own people is what are the roads that are possible, what are not, what need to be open, ano i-prioritize natin kasi as it is already 93 out of 106 road sections are not possible. Seaports out of 34 in Calabarzon are not operational. 34 out of 34 are not operational. 10 out of 10 bridges in Region 5. So talagang it's isolated. The whole region actually is to a great extent is isolated.
So basically, some of the inactivity of the seaports and other communication lines were precautionary measures
Yes,
that has been undertaken.
Yeah.
And well noted, sir, on what you've mentioned, that we're still going to see more of the effects later on as the storm passes. As what has been mentioned by PANGULO, there's a lot of coverage in terms of areas to be affected still, and these are still initial reports. And some of them are precautionary measures being undertaken.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, there would still a lot to see in terms of damages and losses to agriculture, specifically to the livelihoods of people. And maybe that would be the next part on what to do next. Next slide. And in terms of response, of course, in immediate response.
Okay, inuulit ko sa mga BBM vloggers na inaatake si Anton Lagdameo. Nandyan, kitang-kita, ito ang pinaka-latest video na hindi po totoo yung sinasabi nila. Okay? Kaya mag-iingat sana yung mga kaibigan kong PBBM vloggers, kanilang mga akusa. Kailangan may ebidensya. Okay?
Because it's flooding. Of course, the need for rubber boats and water search and rescue has been identified early on. And I think one of the issues that we have right now, which we'll be seeing in the later slides, would be the need for logistics to transport, sir. Not just to transport people, but to evacuate people from harm's way. You know? So next slide. And these are the additional needs that we're looking at. And as what I mentioned, that the gaps. Until this morning, there were already requests for additional rubber boats. That's why Office of Civil Defense has already been coordinated.
Additional rubber boats. Kung mahusay kayong mag-analyze, mayroon nang ibinigay na rubber boats si PBBM. Anong wala siyang ginagawa na kine-claim ng mga ibang vloggers na anti-PBBM? Dahil hindi na babalita, wala daw ginagawa si PBBM. Maghunos dili naman kayo. Mag-research naman kayo, mga anti-PBBM vloggers. Huwag kayong magkalat ng misinformation. Okay.
With some areas, specifically with Region 6 or Region 7,
Hi, Jonas.
there will be available rubber boats to augment the requirement in Region 5. And for those areas that has not been affected yet, where the storm is about to cross, there have already prepositioned more water search and rescue equipment. Of course, because of this massive flooding and expected to be more, of which water sanitation and hygiene would be affected, specifically the groundwater or the drinking water as well, and even water for domestic use. Food and NFIs, food specifically would be needed again in the coming days because of the evacuation that has happened, especially in the evacuation centers, and NFIs in terms of shelter kits, shelter repair kits, and also some of the kitchen kits that would be needed, especially with the houses in affected, even the second floor areas. So understandably, there would be more requests for NFIs. I mentioned already about the shelter repair kits. Where Office of Civil Defense and also with the Secretary of National Defense Chair and the RNC have already given some kind of additional guidance to the Office of Civil Defense to seek.
Ganyan. Ang National Defense, nagtatrabaho ng hindi umiepal. Pero ginagawa nila ang trabaho nila. Yan ang testimonya ng resource person. Sino ang namumuno sa National Defense? Ang ating kandidato para sa susunod na halalan sa pagka-presidente. Tahimik pagtrabaho pero efektibo. Katulad ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos.
Somewhat consider the request for international assistance for augmentation on logistic requirements, specifically for transport. Yes.
Mr. President, if I may. Because
Yan na ang magaling nating National Defense Secretary. Okay? Nagpapatunay na alam din niya ang kanyang ginagawa at alam din niya ang kanyang tungkulin. Okay? Kaya kayong mga nasa fence, wag na kayong sit on the fence. Join the movement for GIBO TEODORO for President 2028.
Instructed our staff to make their own estimates of the possible effects of the rain in the coming days. We have the available assets to answer for lift capabilities as of this time. However, in the exercise of caution, we are planning two things to foresee the effects in the coming days. In the aftermath of the disaster risk convention, we are coordinating now with our ASEAN neighbors. I have already talked to our Singaporean ambassador to marshal their capabilities for airlift and other manpower assistance that they can pitch in. And we will talk to our traditional partners in the next few days in anticipation of airlift needs and other rescue needs, Mr. President.
Ganyan ang leader. Hindi kailangan manduhan. Hindi siya minanduhan ng presidente. Out of his own initiative, he has already talked to several foreign nations. That is what we should expect sa mga matitino, magagaling at mahusay na leader na magiging presidente. Hindi yung puro paninira, puro kasiraan ang ginagawa, puro atake. Wala namang solusyon. Okay?
Next slide, please. So, Mr. President, we've been from PAGASA, what we're doing here in Office of Civil Defense is to manage the information that we're getting. So we come up with like these scenarios. So the regions 1, 2, and 3 and CAR and Calabarzon, since the storm was not past them yet, we're still expecting actually it's not just a likely scenario, the worst case scenario for this matter. When we do our contingency plan, we will always come up with the worst case scenario. So as what the Secretary of National Defense had mentioned, we're looking at planning for the next time, for the next few days. And this is what we're looking into, that there will be gradual intensification And these are the areas that would be affected. Regions 1, 2, 3, Calabar zone. In terms of wind damage, not so much, but in terms of flood or water damages.
Katulad ng sinabi ng presidente kanina, hindi masyado yung hangin. Palagay ko, flooding ang problema. Kasi hindi ni inasikaso nung nakarang administrasyon ang problema sa baha. O tignan niyo diyan sa ating screen. Sino ang nasa kaliwa? Si Anton Lagdameo. Sino nasa kanan? Ang ating kandidato para sa pagka-presidente sa 2028. Kaya lang sa survey, hindi siya sinasali ang pangalan na sa probable candidates sa 2028. Kaya importante na mag-join na kayo sa GIBO TEODORO for President in 2028. Yan ang patunay na siya ay pinagkakatiwalaan ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos at pinagkakatiwalaan pa rin ni President Bongbong Marcos si SAP Anton Lagdameo. Sampal sa mga Pbbm vloggers na basa-basa na lang nag-aakusa na hindi naman, wala naman silang ebidensya.
And actually, what we are also most concerned, these areas, especially Batanes or the northernmost part of the country, has been already affected recently by tropical cyclone Julian. And I think they haven't much recovered yet. Actually, they are still requesting for some NFIs. And these are the hazards that we are considering as far as the passage of this tropical cyclone would be in those areas. So, next slide. Please. So,
Mr. President, if I may, just one,
Yes.
Mr. President, if I may, the previous slide. Mr. President, what you see there is an image of a combined rainfall and flood and landslide risk analysis from the Mines and Geoscience Bureau of the DNR. So that's barangay scale, sir. So we can actually look at the level
I think it's seasonal care.
to the barangay. So we have a listing that we supply to OCD in terms of the potential. Yes, sir. It's a combined model for weather, landslide and flood risk together down to the barangay scale. Yes, sir.
Di ba hindi pa kayo natutuwa mga kaibigan na mayroon tayong presidente na inaalam muna ang sitwasyon bago siya humakbang. Pero prior to that, yung mga immediate solution and help, ibinigay na niya. Pero for succeeding help, kailangan niyang malaman ang tunay na sitwasyon. Hindi ba kayo natutuwa? Na matalino ang ating presidente? Okay.
So,
You can count on this data.
so basically, sir, based on all of those information, flood risk, landslide risk, we are able to translate that on the number of most vulnerable people that could be affected wherever. And that is coming from the information coming from the SWD. So we are the most vulnerable. We're looking at the listahanan as an information coming from the SWD. And this would be the reference for the planning figure for our response. Next slide. And since there was also preparations being done in Batanes, this is an example of a response ex ante. Before a tropical cyclone would come, this is very much Filipino culturally recognized. They are already strengthening houses. That is happening as of yesterday or even 2 days ago in Batanes. Once they receive their information, I think this is a very important, a classic example of how we prepare for tropical cyclones if wind damage would be expected. But nevertheless, this is how it is being done right now. Next. That's all, Mr. President.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. It looks pretty clear that this one is more about the volume of water that's going to be dropped in the areas. And unfortunately,
Kasi I made the comment kinan nyo, di ba kayo naawa sa inyong presidente? namamaga ang kanyang mata. Dahil sa puyat yan. Ganyan din ako sometimes eh. Kasi I am diabetic, sometimes I cannot sleep. Ganyan. So ano, the symptom ng pagkapuyat. Okay. Ibig sabihin lang yan, siya ay nag-aalala sa kaligtasan at kapakanan ng ating mga mamamayan. Nasaan si BP Sara? Hanggang dadalang siya?
I think it would be prudent to consider that we're only beginning. This is just the beginning. Now we're experiencing the same phenomenon that I've been commenting on. All of us have been noticing. Ang bilis mag-develop ng it was just a
Imagine that he can also see yung kabilis ng pagdating ng bagyo, which is uncommon, which is something new. Ibig sabihin, he knows what the problem is. Okay.
a low pressure area, and now look at it, the strength of it, and the volume of water the volumes of water are unprecedented. Okay, so yun ang kailangan natin bantayan. So question, how nakapag-forward the placement ba tayo?
Mr. President, I knew you were going to ask that. I have one slide and one slide lang, if we can pull it up.
Yeah.
Mr. President, we're back to the 2 million mark. This is the pre-national stockpile.
As upon the instruction of the President Bongbong Marcos, he instructed the DSWD already to preposition provisions to help they alleviate the sufferings of our countrymen when they are facing crisis due to disasters like the typhoons. Kailangan yan sa isang magaling na presidente na kailangan magmando. Namanduhan niya ang kanyang mga sekretaryo. Pero ginagawa po niya. Yan.
The red number is the total number of stockpiled goods nationwide, 2 million. This was pre-Karina level. We had a very good run ng production in this past couple of weeks. Now, if Mr. President, NROC is our Pasay hub. So we have around 176,000. Our Visayas hub has around 250,000. That's family food packs. Now, NCR must contain, Mr. President, because we draw from the Pasay hub anyway. But identified regions have very high stockpiles. Region 1 has 93,000. Region 2 has 109,000. Region 3 has 170,000. 4A 101, 4B 101. And then when
nakikita nyo ang stockpile na nandyan sa figure? It is 1,565,494,790.23 centavos. Hindi basta-bastang kapupulinggit na tulong. Anticipated na yan ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Di ba? Magaling po ang ating Pangulo. Okay?
before this Karina, na tail of Karina hit us, we had close to 162,000 in Bicol. So as of yesterday, Mr. President, we started distributing already.
Yung sinasabi na, galit daw ang mga Bicolano, ay hindi totoo kasi sila ang inuna ng ating presidente. Puro kasinungalingan at kabalbalan ang mga pinagsasabay ng mga anti-PBBM vloggers. Huwag na kayong bumisita sa mga anti-PBBM vloggers. Puro kasinungalingan, puro destabilization na balita, puro misinformation ang sinasabi nila. Mag-stick kayo sa mga channel na naghatid sa inyo ng mga tunay na balita na hindi gawa-gawa lang.
And we continue to distribute. Now we're
Salamat nga pala. Nadagdagan ng 2 subscribers ang aking channel. I have now 5,812 subscribers. Salamat po sa bagong mga nag-subscribe. Sana dumami pa.
We're already in the replenishment stage. Our Pasay hub is running at 20,000 a day, so that when these stockpiles of these offices go down, we can keep on sending them.
All right. Are there areas still that we cannot reach?
Mr. President, I was over the phone with the mayor of Naga. In fact, Naga alone, marami pang roads.
Saan ba yung Naga? Di ba yun ang kwan? Town ni Lenny Robredo? Ano yung hindi nasikaso ni PBBM? Ang Bicol. One of the priority yan kasi sila ang na-affectuhan ng flooding. Kaya hindi dahil sa kalaban niya sa politika noon, si BP Lenny, hindi niya asikasuhin. Ganyan ang ating magiting na presidente.
It's not impossible. Then I was exchanging messages with Kong El Reyes yesterday.
Do we know kung why is it impossible? Nasira ba yung daan o nag-landslide?
Mainly for localized flooding, Mr. President.
Mm.
But I'm happy to report, Mr. President, that the Maharlin Highway, except for the
Salamat at dumating na ang aking makaibigan na si Check Sibilia. Magaling pong political background po yan. Supportan niyo po ang kanyang channel. Supportan niyo po ang channel ni Rising Flag, Papa B, at saka si Kainaro. Okay? Yan po, magagaling po mga vloggers yan.
section of Calbayog City. The entire Maharlin Highway up to Manila now is passable now. Except there is one section in Milaor, which is actually only heavy vehicles can pass by now. But I understand from the report.
Baga ko tricky kasi may mga vloggers na pinagkakalat na walang ginagawa daw si PBBM at galit na ang mga taga-Bicol. Nagalit ako. Kaya maski maaga out of, maski walang manood, kailangan kong patunayan na nagsisinungaling sila. Yan po. Maski wala pa akong tulog, sige. Para lang magbigay ng tamang impormasyon, para lang labanan ang fake news. Nagsasakripisyo tayo, di ba, Trexie? Para sa ating bayan ito.
To my regional director.
Kaya nga, mas importante sa akin muna yung ginagawa ng presidente para tulungan ang mga kababayan natin kaysa sa mga sensational video ng hearing kay Pastor Apollo Kibuloy kasi alam naman natin na talagang hindi kanais-nais ang personalidad ni Kibuloy at saka alam naman natin na talagang may EJK killings. That is a given na. Pero ito, hindi pa given kasi hindi po natin alam ang ginagawa ng presidente na pinagkakalat ng ibang anti-PBM bloggers na wala daw siyang ginagawa. Ito ang patunay. At saka isa pa, yan po ang patunay na si Anton Lagdameo ay pinagkakatiwalaan pa ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Sampal po ito sa mga nagsasabing hindi na siya po ay Trojan horse. Si Presidente Bongbong Marcos ay malaki ang intelligence fund. At hindi niya papayagan na ang isang malapit sa kanya ay magiging corrupt. Tignan nyo ang nangyari kay Dick Rodriguez. At saka napapansin nyo ulit, ang sino na sa kanan niya, si Secretary of National Defense, GIBO TEODORO, na siyang ikinakandidato natin na maging presidente sa 2028. Yan po ang malapit kay Presidente Marcos in times of crisis. In times of crisis. Sino? Sabi ni Tex Villa, walang magawa ang mga magkakalat ng fake news na yan. Gawaan nila yan dahil gusto nilang siraan si PBBM in any way. Ito, I believe. Kaya nga, napilitan na nga akong mag-live. Uncommon po ito. Kasi mayroon kong ebidensya na may ginagawa at mahusay na mamahala ang ating presidente. Ang sabi nga ni BP Sara ay hindi daw siya marunong mag-lead. Samantalang may disaster na brought about by Christine. Wala siya. Wala siya. Hindi mo siya makita. Puro dadalang ng dada ang ating vice presidente. Pero kung kinakailangan na siyang umaksyon, wala siyang aksyon. Ano yan?
The rain said, simmered down a little bit, so there is a good chance that by this afternoon, the entire traffic will be restored along Mahardika Highway. However, there are many road sections, secondary road sections that remain to be closed for now because of localized flooding. And may mga soil collapse, Mr. President, but our people now are in the field actually taking out all this debris and to restore the traffic immediately, Mr. President.
To give us a better, can we have the map again of pag-asa of the track of the storm? I think this is how I'm going to do your best, but I don't know. Can I have the map? But can we have the map that you put up earlier on? It's the pag-asa map. Oh, there you go. Okay. So this is what we can expect by Wednesday. By 5 p.m. today, it will be off the eastern coast. It will not. The center of the storm will not have landed yet. And again, what is your forecast for landfall? What time and what place?
It's about 8 later this evening, Mr. President, or early morning tomorrow.
Okay.
From around 8
Aurora.
8 p.m.
Landfall Aurora, kamo?
Yes, Aurora area province.
And then this is if it's going at what's speed, 15 kilometers an hour?
85 kilometers per hour. The
No,
wind,
that's the storm. Ano? The
speed is 15 kilometers per hour.
So ganyan ang magiging takbo. Usually we are pretty accurate as long as the storm has fully developed. We're pretty accurate. So ito yung kailangan nating abangan. These are the areas that, for example,
noong panahon ni dating presidente Rodrigo Duterte, sana nagkaroon din siya ng ganyang mga meeting kung mayroong krisis. Mayroon ba siyang ginagawang pagsasiyasat tungkol sa nagaganap na krisis na ginagawa niya? Did he do something like this while he was in charge of our country? If he did, then we should applaud him also. Pero if he did not, that's something he pales in comparison with our Pbbm. Could you educate me if President Rodrigo Duterte conducted fact-finding sessions to to review the situation that is happening during the time in times of crisis or typhoons or disasters. Okay. Good morning daw ako. Kat, thank you sa akin sa iyo sa pagbadala mo sa aking channel. Okay, could you educate me? Okay, because I really didn't pay attention to Philippine politics. So I hope the President Rodrigo Duterte also did something like this, okay, during his term. Okay.
I think we can start with the habang pag lumalayo na sa Bicol sa Region 5, pwede na natin gawin lahat ng pwede natin gawin. Pero huwag na natin pasukin muna ang Region 1, Region 2 dahil parating pa lang. So pabayaan mo na there's nothing we can do except wait for it to pass. Give all the warnings that we can give, evacuate as many people as we can. But we really have to just batten down the hatches for a day. And make sure that everybody has what they need. Everybody has the emergency supplies. Meron silang ilaw, meron silang tubig.
Alam mo yan? He worries about ilaw and tubig of those nasa lanta ng bagyo. That means he really cares for the Filipino people. Okay. Yes, meron din tayo, but not as intense as Pbbm is doing. Okay. But at least, give credit where credit is due. At least, he also was looking out for the Filipino people. Palakpakan din natin si President Rodrigo Duterte. Pero lumalabas kung hindi siya kasing intense as what this Pbbm is doing, Pbbm is doing much better. Okay, thank you, Trexie. Dito po, hindi tayo basta-basta maninira. Pinapalakpakan natin si Presidente Rodrigo Duterte sa pag-aala din niya sa mga nasa lanta. Pero tingnan mo yung anak niya. Kaya ako tinatanong, bakit yung anak niya hindi yan po ginagawa? Puro dada lang siya ng dada. Okay?
But maybe
thank you.
Shut that down.
Thank you, Trexie.
But in the meantime, mag-isip na tayo how we are when we can go in with our equipment for the public works and to open whatever it was, to open all the thoroughfares. The SWD, once they're open, if they're not open, we'll look to SND to fly it in, perhaps, if that's the best that we can do. Patulong din tayo, we can ask the Coast Guard also. The Coast Guard also plays a part in that naman. So mag-ready na tayo. But all of us should have this map in our office looking at this, and this is what we have to anticipate.
Let's go back to your earlier. So bottom line, we plotted that all our field offices have ample supply in those areas.
Yeah.
Actually, we went back to pre-Karina level, so our stockpile is quite strong. Okay,
Karina, di ba yun yung bagyo na tumakas si BP Sara papuntang Germany habang kasagsagan na naghihirap o nasasalanta ng bagyo Karina ang sambayan ng Pilipino. Lumikas siya papuntang Germany para magbakasyon. Yan ba ang hinahanap natin sa ating mga leader? Okay.
On the ground. The problem is
sabi ni GNL, I see your point in making praises for the good deeds of the former president. If I were you, I'll admit that that's focus on what PBBM is doing. That is where we disagree. He is the best. Pero I disagree with him because ang prinsipyo ng channel na ito, ang tama ay tama, ang mali ay mali. Yeah. Yes, Tatay Jack. Kasi si PBBM nagpupunta talaga sa lugar kapag pwede na makarating sa area na mas detailed kay PBBM. Oh, thank you. Okay. Give credit where credit is due. Diba? Ang tama ay tama, dapat purihin at suportahan. Tama yung ginawa niya. Bakit mo siya babatikusin doon? Okay?
It is not such a strong storm, but the effects are very wide. Kung titignan mo, layo ng Bicol actually. Doon sa center of the storm. Pero I've seen news reports. Ang laki ng tubig.
Nako, nagsama yung dalawang magagaling. Kontra sa akin, oh. I respect both your opinions, GNL and Trixie Villar. Kita nyo, sa channel ko, I say something, kinokontra nila ako. It's alright. Kasi they are entitled to their opinion. Sa akin, I still believe na ang tama ay tama, ang mali ay mali. Pero nagsama yung dalawang magaling, si JNL opinions at saka si Trixie ni Villar. Oy, naku. Nag-love si JNL kay Trixie Villar.
Binagsak na tubig. It's wide-ranging. Kahit na hindi 85 kilometers, we can prepare for that. So, tapos, dahil nga na madalas yung bagyo, masaturate na ang lupa. So what we have to anticipate now, let's all prepare with whatever yung mga equipment ng DPWA, yung mga airlift ng AFP, yung mga relief goods and whatever all the other that we are doing.
Mr. President.
Banner, sabi niya, yes, but it is not important to do so, especially at this time. No, hindi naman, it's only a sidebar. It's only in passing. Hindi ko naman, it's not a major part of my LS.
Everybody is well informed.
Yes, sir.
Those areas that are under that.
Yes, sir. Out of the 1,252 LCEs, 87 are present in their municipalities.
Nagsalita niya si John Vic. Si John Vic ba ito? Okay. I agree with you, GNL. Naku, yung dalawang magagaling kong commentators, kontra talaga sa akin, ha? You can see, yung mga bagong subscribers na that everything I say, my viewers agree, okay? Okay. I agree with you, GNL opinions, kasi sa mga Digonians, they don't appreciate what PBBM is doing. Instead, wala daw siyang ginagawa. Oh, thank you, Pineapple Veer. I am a new subscriber. Basta PBBM vlogger, nagsusupport po ako, okay? Bibigyan kita ng jacket na, okay? I hope I see yung okay. Bigyan natin ng jacket si yan. Thank you. Makakaasa ka rito na patas tayo, although ang mga magagaling kong komentarista sometimes disagree with me. And that's all right. Kanya-kanyang opinion po yan. Okay. Yung dalawa nagsama. Sila ang pinakamagagaling kong commentators. Okay.
accounted for 175. They're either on medical or foreign travel.
Okay.
But all of it informed that all of the activated their disaster response scenarios.
Okay.
Sir, if I may.
Yes, yes.
The parts of the DNR, we've also reached out to the private sector, to the mining industry. So they are now informed that they may be called to assist in response and recovery from the rescue if need be, since they have the technical equipment and they have the manpower to perform rescue in terms of possible landslide and other situations. We've also asked and coordinated with the Philippine Space Agency. They've activated also image acquisition, so we can actively monitor the extent of the impact.
If the data from that is coming from space agencies is incorporated to your in your forecast. Oh, kasama yan. Pagka hindi ko kasama.
Yes, Mr. President. We have
Function of our sometimes are
Okay. Oo, lang. PBBM, we love you as Ilocano on ganyan kaming Ilocano. Nagmamahalan. Watching from Hong Kong. Thanks po, tatay. We are from Pangasinan. Parang pinsan namin ng mga taka-Ilocano. But we always support PBBM. Okay. Si GIBO TEODORO na kinakandidato, Ilocano din yan. Marunong mag-Ilocano. Tignan mo, nandyan si Anton Lagdameo. Okay. Okay. Salamat.
we have access from meteorological satellites.
All right. No, that's right. We need to get all the best data that we can. Well, I think we're reasonably well prepared. The power is going to go out, whatever we do. We just follow the procedure.
Sana Pineapple Beer, dalasan mo ang magpunta rito sa akin channel. Pwede ka mag-comment. Kakikita mo, magagalang ang mga komento. Hindi laging umaayon sa aking pananaw, pero okay lang. Basta magalang lang po ang pagpresenta mo ng iyong opinion. Okay? Dalasan mo. Sabihin mo sa mga kaibigan mo na maka-BBM na medyo bisitahin ng aking channel, mag-subscribe.
We take down the power when it is not safe.
Okay.
To keep our
Simple solution. Siyempre, alisin mo yung power kung di ligtas kasi baka makuryente. Ganyan kagaling ang ating presidente. Pati yan, alam niya kung ano ang gagawin. Salamat, Pineapple Beer. Okay?
to keep the cables energized.
Mr. President, we have 16 electric cooperatives which are partially out of power. 4 are completely without power, including Sorsogon, Leader, and as far down as Siargao. So,
I know, I was surprised.
Right. So,
Kasi alam niya pati yan. He was surprised. Sabi niya.
but NEA is already coordinating as so far as rehabilitating the ones in the Bicol region. 69 kV lines have been affected also in a number of areas. So NGCP, as you said, will be coming in as the weather situation improves.
Yes. Well, again, we turn the power off precisely to keep it safe, and then go back and take a look at the damage, see how we can repair it. There's sometimes a tendency in these areas because we want to say bring the power back immediately. So jerry-rig lang yung mga ginagawa nila, but then it becomes permanent. and that makes the powers, the system frail, not robust. I don't know how we get around that because talagang there's a very, very strong demand. Balik na yung kuryente kaagad as quick as possible. Bilis. So kung ano-ano na lang ginagawa. Hindi, that's it. Kaya yung mga nakikita niya na bulbul, yun eh. Oh, dahil nagmamadali. Ano, basta kahit pa paano sila, basta ilagay mo dyan. Huwag siya short yan, di na bala. Basta ilagay mo. Okay na yan. Tapos, dapat mabalikan. Pero hindi na binabalikan. So we have to be conscious of that so that we make our systems more robust.
Take note of that, Mr. President.
Oo nga.
Kaya, ganito mo, he made a comment of his observation of what is happening sa pagmamadali to restore the power. And he gave us the problem. And then mga sekretaryo niya nalaman will take care of that or will take note of that. Kasi kung di mo alam ang yung sinasabi, hindi mo mamamanduan o hindi ka pwedeng mag-suggest sa yung mga sekretaryo. Kanyan po, idinidiin ko kay BP Sara, mali po ang sinasabi mo na hindi marunong mamuno ang ating presidente. Patunay. Ito, kaya mo bang gawin ang ginagawa ng ating presidente? Isa ngayon nga, tahimik ka eh.
Well, again, as health, you'll go in as soon as you can. Basically, we cannot. If we can start to go in, I don't know. Depends also on public works and the availability of airlift. But we cannot go in right now. Maybe parts of Bicol, baka umpisahan na natin. Baka pwede na lumipad ng helicopter or something like that para makapasok na lang na makapag-report na mabuti kung ano yung sitwasyon. But the point right now is that the storm is actually still off of our coast. It's not yet hasn't made landfall yet. So the worst is yet to come, I'm afraid. So let's all prepare. Let's just all prepare. So that the minute that we get the signal that it's okay to go in, we'll all be able to go in. Doesn't mean that signal will be the same for everyone. Of course, the airlift will go in first, and then once the public works has been able to open at least the main thoroughfares, then everything else will go in. Health will go in, the relief goods will go in, and wala tayong magagawa. We just I'm feeling a little helpless here because all we can do is sit tight, wait, hope, pray that there's not too much damage, that there are no casualties, and then go in as soon and as quickly as possible with as much as we can to alleviate effects to, especially first to the population, and then afterwards we'll take care of all the other infrastructure, the power, the roads. Let's watch again those dams because we don't want the situation that happened in the Cagayan Valley where just released without telling anyone that there was no plan.
He learns a lesson from history. He's a student of history. So alam niya ang nangyari sa Cagayan. Ayaw niyang mauulit sa kasalukuyan. Okay. Hindi ba iyan ang nagpapakita na mahusay talaga siyang presidente? Hindi ba sa bata, ito ang pera, gawin nyo ang dapat gawin. Pero wala kang research, wala kang pagsisiyasat kung ano ang dapat mong gawin. Kasi natatandaan ko nung Karina, ang instruction ng BPI, bahala na kayo dyan. Mayroon tayong pondo. Yun lang. Walang specific instruction. Ito po, may specific instruction ng ating presidente. Kaya puro kabalbalan ang mga sinasabi ni BP Sara. Ito ang patunay sa iyo, BP Sara, na hindi po mo alam ang inyong sinasabi. Puro paninira lang sa ating magiting na presidente.
Yes, you all remember what happened there.
Mm.
So, iwasan natin yun. But let's anticipate, let's be proactive about it. Let's not wait for the levels to reach the maximum. Kung kaya, mag-release na tayo ng kahit kaunti lang para hindi biglaan na makapag-release, para hindi mag-overflow. So, let's think in
Okay.
those terms.
Yan, may solution. Unti-untiin lang. Yan ang dapat. Hindi yung biglaan. Maski yung sink mo, pag biglaan, hindi basta-basta mawawala yung tubig sa sink, sa ano bang sink, sa lababo mo. Punuin mo ang tubig, hindi matagal, sometimes matagal mawala yung tubig, pero pag paunti-unti, sandali lang, tak! Sandali lang, panandalian din, mawawala yung tubig. Kaya unti-unti na munang i-release yung tubig habang wala pang masyadong mahirap pang Tagalog eh. While there is no heavy rains yet, habang wala pang masyadong matinding ulan. Okay. Yan po ang kagalingan ng ating presidente. Small matters. Alam niya kung paano re-resolvahin. Okay?
We'll plan ahead.
We'll plan ahead. Hindi lang po retroactive. It is proactive. A plano in anticipation of problems. Ganyan ang ating presidente. He is a problem solver. That is why sa aking thumbnail, he is a great leader. Taliwas po yung sinasabi ni Vice Presidente.
All the dams that we think will be affected, let's think about already releasing some water. So that when the real water comes,
Yan.
not as bad.
Yung real, yung sabi ko, heavy rains. Before the heavy rains come, unti-unti mo nang i-release. Kasi mapupuno din yan eh. Magaling talaga ang ating presidente. Yung mga nanonood dyan, please pakisubscribe nyo naman po. Please, by subscribing to this channel, you show that you appreciate yung mga channel na hindi po nag-fake news. We need the subscription so this channel will be able to survive. Okay? Kasi kung walang nanonood, sometimes it is nakaka-disappoint, nakakawalang gana, walang nanonood. Maski po mga tunay na balita ang ibinabalita mo. Mas gusto nila yung mga sensational na puro fake naman.
What else? What have we missed? Yes.
Mr. President, since this is a big
Okay. Ngayon siya nagsasalita nung wala nang ibang magsasalita. Our candidate for president doesn't interrupt. Hindi po siya maepal. Alam niya kung kailan siya papasok. Okay? Ngayon ko lang pinapanood ang video ito. Sabay tayong nanonood po.
Big logistics and coming from areas which are not affected, we would encourage coordination to keep the roadways in the areas not affected free so that our trucks and other vehicles can freely
Nakita mo, patango si Presidente, nakita niyo yun? Meaning, he approves of what our candidate for president in 2026 is, 2028 is saying. Matino, mahusay po talaga si GIBO TEODORO. Let us support him for the presidency, for the presidential candidacy niya sa 2028.
and so we will be working closely with the executive secretary to recommend suspension of work or classes in the areas where we need to marshal our
Okay.
logistics just to keep the roadway.
Yan po ay, yung payo niya pala, siya pala ang nagpayo sa presidente to suspend work. Ginawa po ng presidente yan. He suspended work. Balita, totoo yan. Pinakinggan ng ating presidente ang magiting nating Secretary of National Defense. Okay? Siya po ay pinakinggan. Okay. Ganyan po mahusay mag-advise ang ating National Defense Secretary na si GIBO TEODORO.
Please free, Mr. President.
Well, in any, the first responders are going to be the local governments. Silang una talaga makakapasok dyan. Let's be sure that kung meron talagang request for assistance, that we'll try and give them the assistance. Kasi meron talagang mga bagay, meron talagang mga problema na hindi kaya ng local government o kulang ang local government. They need more. So let's make sure na may magandang coordination at saka yung sa mga lokal na sumawag sila. Sabi sila kung ano yung pangyayari.
As a present, Congressman El Rey already conveyed this assistance as soon as possible, sir.
Yeah. Alright. So we'll just keep in close contact with them so that we know what their situation is, and if there's
Yan. Minamanduan niya si ang bagong DILG secretary na si Jovic Rimulya kung ano ang gagawin niya. Stay in contact, sabi niya. Okay?
if they have an emergency request for augmentation of some kind, diba? Para maka-respond ka agad ang national.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. President, I think for clearing the roads, we're happy to report also that there is no bridge that collapsed actually. So I think as soon as the water subsides in the locally flooded areas, our response teams will now be able to enter into clearing all the debris and like fallen trees and other materials inside. As soon as we're able to clear all the national secondary roads, we will coordinate also with the local government where they would need actually the assistance of the department for clearing out the roads inside the local roads, Mr. President.
All right. The other thing is there was how do you call this? An offer for again, rather a communication from MMDA for the water purifiers. Yeah, yung water purifier. Kasi wala si
Yung balde ho.
well, there's that. And then yung dinadala na pinapasok natin yung galing MMDA.
Yes, sir.
Yung,
Yes, sir, I'll make a call sa MMD.
Yes, sir. Because again, we're going to run it.
Narinig niyo yun? Wala si Benar. Hinahanap niya si Benar. Kasi magaling din si Benar. Iboboto ko si Benar. Okay? Yan po ang nasa ulo ni President Bongbong Marcos ay si Benar.
Into that situation where water supply is critical, magkasakit na rin sila mga tao sa water supply. So,
ayaw magkasakit ni Presidente ang mga tao dahil sa polluted water na unsanitized water na iinumin nila. Kaya magpo-provide siya ng purifiers. Okay?
Sa MMD.
Yeah, you coordinate with them so that where we immediately need it, and then we can do again the Balita.
Yes, sir, we're sending na rin.
How many do we send? I don't know if it's the same as in the time in Yolanda, but in the time of Yolanda, when we brought those bucket the filtration system in, that was good for 100 people per day.
Sir, it's almost the same kasi ang ginagawa niya per evacuation center. So they cluster, let's say, 3 rooms, depending on how many are inside a room. Yung the one I showed you was parang 100, same, sir. Yes, sir, still the same. So we're sending it over there, sir.
So, but how many? How do we ratio?
So it depends on the number of evacuees that we have in evacuation center. That's where we get the ratio, sir.
Yeah, and it's simple enough. How was the experience in Pasto and Batangas?
Sir, okay naman. Wala naman untoward incident afterwards. Nagamit ko nila, sir. In fact, we augmented pa some more. They asked us to bring some more.
That's a good sign.
Yes.
So it's really effective. So let's keep that in mind. And then, of course, the MMDA has their.
Shall call MMD right after.
Sir,
Yes.
if I may. Sir, the evacuation areas will have no electricity and no communication. Do they have access to the Starlink system so that they can have internet at least for communication? Are we prepared for that?
Usually, the cell sites continue to operate, but it's not happening.
So during a typhoon, sir, a lot of them stop.
Saan yung mga area na hindi natin walang communication?
We will know pretty soon, but I think I'll buy is with the hard hit now. So I think in terms of preparation for the coming typhoons, maybe we should advance purchase and stockpile on the Starlink, sir. So
But again, ganun din kasama yan. Meron na tayo kasamang communication na dinadala.
Yes, sir.
We put up some kind of a satellite system. Dati pa yan yung malaking dish.
that's right. Narita lang yun.
Yeah.
So but it will again depend on the accessibility. So maybe on the first airlifts, we can include kahit yung basic lang na communication system.
Yes, sir.
Kasi pagkaalam ko, ang mga cell sites, mabilis bumalik because they have their own power. They have their own power supply. And they're able to do that. So, but nonetheless, we still have to put in, especially for government offices, the local relief response. Para masabi sa atin what we need. And even if when they send our people in, they have to report back to us and tell us what's happening. Yes. Yes, sir.
Sir, with regard to the water filtration machine of MMDA, this is the 6,000 liter per day machine. Nag-procure na rin tayo, sir, ng 34 similar machines, so we can also deploy.
Nandito na sa atin.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. President, we'll just coordinate with.
Very useful. That turns out to have been a very useful piece of equipment. Kasi nag-ano. All right. Okay. What else? Have we missed? Yes.
Mr. President, in terms of the airlift capability, we already have alerted most of our aircraft. But yesterday, we also coordinated with our U.S. counterparts, and they are ready to send in their aircraft.
Ito ang hindi nakikita ng ating mga kababayan, ang importance of EDCA. Kasi sila po ang tumutulong sa sa disaster relief by making use of their modern aircraft. Okay. Yan po ang hindi nakikita ng mga anti-EDCA. Okay.
Using our EDCA sites.
Oh, yan, no?
And then if other countries are coming in, we will also establish our multinational coordinating centers.
Yes, there was mention of the international assistance. How how do we? I'm sure maraming mag-offer, but we have to coordinate it also. What were you saying that we are in communication with other international agencies?
Actually, sir, the Secretary of National Defense has already made some kind of guidance to Office of Civil Defense.
I am. Actually, the Secretary of National Defense has already issued guidance. Nagtratabaho talaga si GIBO TEODORO, and he is being acknowledged by the Secretary of DENR, si Madam Loizaga. Hindi po siya umapel, umayepal. Ginagawa lang niya ang kanyang trabaho. Ngayon ko lang narinig yan.
Yes, sir. We have to establish first the protocols before the actual deployment of military assets, sir. With Singapore, I already talked to Ambassador Lee, and then we are reaching out to Brunei, Indonesia, and Malaysia as the closest neighbors.
Ganyan ang dapat gawin. Magtrabaho ka na lang. Huwag ka nang dada ng dada na ginagawa ng Presidente.
In addition to the partner nations.
Well, this is where we make full use of the other sides.
Yan o. Yeah, gaya ng sinabi ko. Yan ang din nakikita ng mga maraming kontra kay PBBM.
For the activities ng AFP, pag-airlift. All right.
Mr. President,
Yes.
maybe I just like also to announce, we actually just got recently verified for 3 international medical teams, level 1. So this is a 30-man team, complete with wash, facilities for outpatient care. I plan to deploy it, one in Bicol, the other one in northern and central Luzon, para ready to deploy healthcare sa whole team. Yung first country po tayong na recognize ng WHO with 3 teams in one verification. 5 taon na po nating sinatrabaho to. And then the first team actually already was deployed in Turkey during the earthquake a few years ago. So it's a international verification. Gamitin ko na for our national deployment.
Okay. That's what we need. All right. Okay, once again, sabi po natin. Ano pa? Ayan, si Jimmy. Ayan, because they are all lahat ng ports and they closed.
Yes, sir. There were 5,329 stranded passengers.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was watching the news earlier today. Yung mga stranded na passenger, ang problema ng PTA, hindi nila mabigyan ng release.
Yes,
dahil wala naman sila pagbigay.
Yes, sir.
In fact, the person that was being interviewed said, baka kung gawin namin, makuha kami. So, DSWD,
Actually,
DSWD should
operate, sir. So we do.
wala naman sa brief ng PTA na nagbigay ng release.
Yes, sir, actually, sir. Yeah. Sir, sa standard operating procedure, even in Bicol Port yesterday, in Macnog, we were there. We do hot meals. So hindi yung family food pa kasi hindi nila makakain yun dahil wala namang cooking facility. We do warm meals on site.
Because marami na ba yung stranded?
There were 5,329 stranded passengers sir, in different ports, plus 994 vehicles that should take the Roro. So they cannot sail because of this typhoon. No?
All right.
Yes.
But the ports are shut down because of the weather. So we have no forecast when they can operate again. Non-operational lang lahat dun sa area. Yeah.
Coast Guard will give the clearance if they can sail already. No?
Yes.
Yes, good morning, Mr. President. As soon as the area is cleared from the weather signal, we will lift the suspension of sea travel. But in the meantime, along the path, no sail po.
Yeah, well, that is safe and sorry.
But nonetheless, Mr. President, there are some ports in Bicol which can be accessed. Just in case, but when there's a need for us to bring in supplies, the port of Pasacao can be accessed by smaller ships. And we are actually preparing 3 ships now to assist OCD or this WD in case they need our help.
Sir, if I may, I just got a call from Congressman LV. Out of 600 barangays in Naga, 300 are fully submerged. 1,000 fully submerged. Unpassable by cars. And they are in urgent need of rubber boats and 6x6 trucks to evacuate people. And it's just beginning. So
Well, for them, in Kamsur, medyo
Balis na. Yes, sir. So
for the rest of Luzon,
yes,
it's not yet even quite begun.
that's right.
Ano ang sinasabi ng ng mga anti-BBM vloggers na wala daw siyang ginagawa sa Bicol? Yan o, patunay. Palis na, may mga rubber boats na makang nauna. Mga kabalbalan ang sinasabi ng mga anti-PBBM vloggers. Hindi puro mga sinungaling sila, puro mga fake news, puro mga misinformation. Dapat mayroon kayong ebidensya.
So sila yung nauna. In this words, sir, they're in desperate need. Dito kayo ng local government.
It's really the flooding that we're going to have to deal with. So, ano ba gawin natin?
Sir, no, yung DFD siguro ang
As we speak, we're pushing forward the additional rubber boats to proceed to the Solcom area and already give instructions, sir, that
Kung mahusay kang mag-analyze, mga anti-BBM vloggers, ang dami ng magiting nating Department of National Defense Secretary, additional rubber boats. Yan ang sinasabi ko, additional rubber boats. Meron, bibig sabihin yan, karagdagang rubber boats. Meaning, meron na silang ibinigay na rubber boats. Meaning, mayroon na silang ginawa para tulungan ang mga nasasalanta ng bagyo dahil sa baha. Puro kayo kasinungalingan ng anti-BBM vloggers na nagkakalat ng misinformation. Ito, actual po na video na nagsasalita ang mga otoridad.
some from Mindanao and the Visayas. JT is working on it in commercial already, sir. And if possible, we can even airdrop them here.
Talagang magaling si Secretary GIBO. Alam niya ang kanyang ginagawa. In-anticipate na niya yan base sa mandato sa kanya ng Presidente. Tapat si GIBO sa ating Pangulo at sa kanyang trabaho. Hindi siya nagrereklamo. Okay.
Okay. Sir, for the same area, the food packs are being withdrawn already. I was also talking to Congressman Elry yesterday. The first 50,000 he's already taking now. Yes, and I told him to keep on withdrawing as he needs.
Parang sa bangko, kung kailangan pera, mag-withdraw ka. Itong ginagawa ng Congress, sa mahusay na congressman ito, nag-withdraw siya ng food packs doon sa DSWD para ibibigay sa mga nasalanta. Okay? Walang ginagawa ang Presidente. Pre-position na yan. In-anticipate ng presidente kung ano ang pangangailangan ng mga tao na apektado ng kalamidad. Okay?
So ganun na nga yung mga asset, because waterborne assets ang kailangan natin maliliit. Okay. I think for now we pretty much covered everything that we can do. We are except for the Bicol region, except for Region 5, we are still in the preparation stage. Region 5, mag-umpisa na talaga ng kasi basta pwede nang pasukin. The public works is going to open all the thoroughfares. Those areas that are isolated, ay mga 300
barangays out of 600, sir.
Kalahati ng province.
Yes, sir. Are fully submerged.
Sir, it's because Camarines or the Bicol River Basin.
River Basin talaga.
Yung po yung Albay and Camarines
Exactly.
papunta sa Albay. Mr. President, nandito po yung
That's why
General
lagi naiipon dyan eh.
Mr. President, nandito po yung General Manager ng Philippine Ports Authority. Tingnan natin kung nagugutom yung mga dito. Mr. J. Santiago.
Good morning po, Mr. President.
Yes, good morning.
Well, ano lang po, tama po yung sinabi po ni Sec. Bautista po kanina. As of 6 a.m. po kanina, nasa 5,329 passengers po yung stranded natin and 994 vehicles. So what we have been doing po, every time naman po na meron po tayong ganitong situation, lahat po ng terminals natin sa stranded, we provide them hot meals po. No? So, ano lang po, Mr. President, normally lugaw po na mainit. Kasi wala naman po sa budget po natin yan.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Opo. But what we do po is we do it po out of pocket po ng mga empleyado.
We should have a more, hindi pwedeng ganun lang mga ad hoc. And thank you very much. And I'm sure it is a big help to those who are, but the government should have a more systematic way of looking after them.
Mr. President, if I may. Right now, we augment the hot meals, pero we're about to come up with our DOST ready to eat box. It's a D box na lahat na siya kakainin mo lang. They're protein bars and all those stuff. Galing sa DOST. So we're about to launch it next month. So yun yung mas systematic way of doing it.
But that's something that yan ang talagang fell to the cracks na hindi natin napaghandaan. But so I'm glad it came out in the news. Ikaw ba yung interview?
Yes po, Mr. President.
Sabi ko na naman.
In fact po, if I may, mag-ano po sana kami, request po kami sa Secretary Rex na once those food items are ready, baka po pwede mag-preposition po sa mga terminals po natin na malalaki na.
We'll just do the same thing as with the specific sa yung mga standard na pasahero. Pag sinara yung mga
Yes, Mr. President, when we procure that, tapos na it's coming. The ready-to-eat boxes will pre-position sa mga pier po.
All right. So, sino pa? What else? Yes, please go ahead.
So yung tungkol po sa power interruption, actually napaka-importante po na yung tungkol yun sa interruption to make it short as much as possible because most of the water supplies in the provinces are also relying on the power.
No, it's a perfectly reasonable demand to bring
Yes,
the
sir.
power as quickly as possible.
As quickly as possible.
Ang hindi magawa hanggat may power.
And at the same time, sir, some of the cold chain in the hospitals are also reliant on power supply. So it's important that these are some of the humanitarian aspects that we have to look into.
No doubt. It's just that there's that that is a long-term effect which we have to pay attention to as well.
Mr. President, and as you pointed out, we have to avoid the possible electrocution of people. That's why we have to check the lines first.
Gaya ang sinabi ko kanina, baka makuryente.
Before we can restore it.
People, it's really, we all want to bring the power back as quickly as possible. Pero bawat metro ng linya, kailangan inspeksyonin na walang putol, walang nag-short, walang kundi pag inon yan, puputok lang lahat yan. Magkasunog pa, may masakit pa.
Mr. President, with respect to the power, I remember we will just have to marshal it again. In the onset of El Nino, we made sure all the hospitals had generating equipment and other water facilities. So we'll just make sure that those are up to speed.
Karakpakan!
Ay, well, as long as we have been able to provide the equipment.
Galing talaga ni
Kaya naman, well, between the
ang galing talaga ni Sec GIBO TEODORO.
The water purification machines. Yeah.
Mr. President, DOH, for those which is running and supporting, they have provided for gensets for all of you. So that's at least for 4 to 8 hours, they are able to provide for emergency power. So we can talk.
Yun ang limit, Mr. President. Usually we cannot use the genset for long periods of time. And they're only for that temporary power interruption. Then kailangan bumalik yung power din. Pag continuous nasisira yung genset,
So, hindi kaya.
hindi kaya.
It's not designed for
It's
that.
not designed for continuous power supply.
Oo. No, there's no doubt we have to bring the power back as quickly as we can. Safely. Yeah, so that's exactly what we will do. That's what we always do. Well, our procedures seem to be in place. There are little adjustments that we have to make for the specific situation. But right now, we will just have to wait for the storm to pass and see what the effects will be. They see it again. It's mukhang maliwanag na it's really the flooding that we are going to have to worry about. Not so much damage, the infrastructure damage from winds. It's really going to be infrastructure damage and threat to life of the flooding that's going to happen. So the evacuation, tuloy-tuloy na natin yung Northern Luzon, kung saan yung talagang tatamaan, mag-evacuate. Naman, sanay naman kami dyan. So the point is, since the storms pass in our area all the time, people are not so hard to convince na mag-evacuate muna. So basta meron silang warning, gagawin naman ng mga local government executives. All right, I think we've covered as many things as we possibly can without seeing the final effects of the storm. So, okay, let's go. Let's prepare. Everybody knows what they need to do. Maraming salamat.
Nakikita nyo na nagkukonsultahan si GIBO TEODORO at saka si Presidente, samantalang nagmamasid lang si Anton Lagbadeo. Kasi wala naman siyang kinalaman dyan, pero takapayo lang siguro ni PBBM. Kaya sinasama pa rin ni PBBM si Anton Lagdameo. Sampal po, ulitin ko, sampal sa mga nag-aakusa kay sa Antonio Lagdameo na wala namang ebidensya. Naglalakihan pa nga yung channel nila eh. Pero nagaya na sila sa mga DDS vloggers. Basta mag-aakusa para magkaroon ng views. Hindi po nakalimutan nila yung prinsipyo na bago ka mag-akusa, i-produce mo muna ang ebidensya. Wag yung sabi-sabi, yung hearsay, hindi po acceptable na ebidensya. Yan po ang isa pang nakukuha natin dito sa video ni PBBM na inaalam kung ano ang problema tungkol sa Bagyo Christine. Okay? Biro mo, naka-smile si Lagdameo, samantalang seryoso si DND Secretary at saka si PBBM. Good morning po, new subscriber po galing kay Kainaro. Thank you, Tatay Jack, na po dyan sa kupus na po dyan sa US, nagsasagawa ba ng dayaan ang mga supporter ni Sara Duterte ng US na si Kamala? Ang ganda ng tanong yan, pero hindi. Paano magsasako ng dayaan? Districto po dito. High-tech po ang dayaan dito. Yung mga, hindi naman high-tech yung mga supporters ni VP Sara. Thank you. Thank you sa magalang mong pagkomento. Pag ganyan, okay lang. Basta pare-parehos, basta magalang, babasahin natin. Ang sabi pa niya, ang behavior ni Kamala ay same kay Sara, pero pareho silang mga dam. Okay. That is your opinion, and I'm glad you stated that. Okay. Basta dito, pag magalang po ang inyong opinion, ay babasahin natin. Thank you po, Arthun Zala, okay? Okay. Again, for your information, Arthun, si Elon Musk na sobrang talino na tao, kasi po ang head ng Tesla, ay sinusuportahan po si Kamala Harris. Hindi, wrong. Sinusuportahan po si Trump. At saka kasi may bagong balita, yan lang po ang information na ibibigay ko sa iyo because na-mention mo ang election sa US. Pero to tell you the truth also, mukhang mas angat po si Kamala Harris ngayon kaysa kay Donald Trump. Hopefully. Yan po ang unbiased information. Inuobserbahan ko po behavior ni Kamala within the past week. Binastos niya pa ang Christian supporters. Alam mo, pag masyado kang liberal, ay you usually do not support Christian principles. Tignan mo si VP Sara. Gusto niya maging presidente ng impyerno. Kaya natatawa ako. Ganyan ba ang gusto nating maging presidente? Ay sa totoo lang, patapos na ito, magdiskusyon tayo ng konti tungkol sa politika. Alam niyo ba na ang mga sumusuporta kay Apollo Kibuloy ay hindi dapat suportahan. Kung nakikita mo ang testimonya ng mga inabuso ni Pastor Kibuloy, bakit mo siya ipagtatanggol? Kung ipagtatanggol mo siya, hindi po matino rin ang pag-iisip mo. Nakikita nyo ang aking logic? Si Kibuloy ay lumalabas based on the testimony of several resource persons. Is not a good person. He's not. He takes advantage of others. And kung susuportahan mo yan, matino ba ang pag-iisip mo? Kung susuportahan mo ang tao na nalaman mong may katiwalian ang pag-abusong ginagawa? Kung susuporta ka, hindi matino ang pag-iisip mo. No wonder, hindi matino ang pag-iisip ni BP Sara kasi hindi sinusuportahan niya si Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Tingnan natin ulit ang logic. Kung ikaw na matalinong tao na maayos ang iyong pag-iisip ay matino at matalino po, bakit mo susuportahan isang tao na marami na ang nagsasabi na siya po ay ng abuso, naging manyake sa mahigit na 200 tao na babae na pinipilit ang mga member niya na magpalimos. Bakit? Kung matino ang pag-iisip mo, bakit mo susuportahan? Bakit mo i-defend siya? Bakit mo i-defend? Iyan po ang tanong ko sa mga DDS. Therefore, ang analysis ko, hindi mo matino ang pag-iisip ng taong sumusuporta kay Apollo Kibuloy. Hindi po matino ang pag-iisip nila. Na-indoctrinate na siguro ang pag-iisip nila. Hindi ko sinasabing masamang tao sila. Pero ang sinasabi po ay hindi po matino ang pag-iisip nila. Hindi po sila matalino. No wonder, si BP Sara ay sinusuportahan si Apollo Kibuloy. Kasi hindi po matino ang pag-iisip niya. Hindi siya natalino. Ang tanong ko ngayon, kung alam na natin na hindi po matino ang pag-iisip ng ating Vice Presidente, bakit po natin siya gagawin pinuno ng ating bansa? Yan ang tanong. Simpleng tanong. Okay? Kaya salamat sa iyo, Athron Sala, sa komento mo. Nag-digress tayo ng konti kasi ang gusto kong discussin dito ay yung ginawang pag-uusisa ng presidente tungkol sa anong nangyayari sa mga nasalanta ng Bagyo Christine. Okay. Si Leticia daw ni bibigyan ko ng okay, ng jacket, okay? Okay. Patunay lang po, bibigyan ko kayo, hindi ko sana gagawin ito, bibigyan ko kayo ng isang video, okay? Sandali lang, give me a few minutes. Okay. Makinig kayo rito, karumal-dumal talaga, okay? Dahil lang kay Athron Zala, kaya ko ipapalabas ang video. Kasi hindi ko sana ipapalabas kasi mas importante sa akin yung ginagawa ng presidente. Hindi itong mga tungkol kay Apollo Kibuloy. Okay, pakinggan natin. Mga DDS, makinig kayo. Dito sa sinasabi ng isang ali. Okay. Ito. Ready tayo always para mag-discuss. Binigyan ako ng opening ni Athron Zala. Okay. So you will notice I am always ready to respond to any issue.
Remember the church led by this man, Apollo Kibuloy. in 1990. Apollo, si Kibuloy,
Okay. Hindi pa yata naka
whom I revered, was considered as God anointed, and his words have absolute authority. I respected him deeply, viewing him as truly the man of God. But I was proud to serve
ito, ginawa niya. 17 years old lang daw siya. Noon na she was taken advantage of by Apollo Kibuloy. Okay? Mga DDS, makinig kayo. Matino pa ba ang isip nyo? Pagsusuportahan nyo si Apollo?
It's fast forward when you play it, so it's not audible.
Okay.
alongside a man I believe to be holy. But one day while in Manila, I received a long distance call from him. He informed me that he had received a divine revelation intended for me and instructed me to travel to Cebu, where he would share this important message. He was also scheduled to preach in Cebu that Sunday. Upon arriving in Cebu City, we arranged for him to stay at the Parkness Hotel in 20 Osmeña. That evening, he instructed me to remain in the hotel, while Hilda Linda, the assigned worker, returned to the worker's house. When we were alone, I asked if I could sleep in the sofa as it was a suite room. Instead, he insisted that I would sleep beside him. Sleeping beside a man I believe to be chosen by God was permitted a great privilege, an opportunity for a sinner like me. I asked what power instructions can strength to faith and trust. Without a word, after turning off the light, he embraced me, undressed me, and violated me with his lustful act, and left me speechless. He then said, this is the fulfillment of God's revelation. He explained that God had revealed to him that I was to partake in God's life through him by surrendering my body, soul, and spirit. He also mentioned that other girls would go through him in a similar manner. His words were strange, but I was too shocked to respond. When I returned to Manila, I was once again instructed to sleep in this room. Fear gripped me, but defying the will of God was unthinkable. We have been told that such disobedience would invite a curse. February 15, 1998, ACQ used me again. It was always out of fear that I obeyed. A fear mixed with anxiety that he might know I pretended to be extremely grateful. That he allowed me to be a part of the physical life. Because in all honesty and God truly knew I was not. On September 30, 1999, I decided to leave without asking for permission, determined to free myself from his control. But he was not pleased with me and did not stop terrorizing me. Alex Camilla, his personal bodyguard, a full-time worker, once known to be a champion in gun shooting before he joined the group of ACQ, together with his team, kept coming to my place to harass me. 3 years ago, nagkausap po kami ni Alex Camilla. Humingi po siya ng kapatawaran at nagsabi na siya ay nautusan lang po na kailangan din akong iligpit. Pinaniwala po siya na ako ay may malaking kasalanan at ako ay napakasamang babae. Nang tinanong ko kung ano ang aking kasalanan, sinabihan daw siya na tinukso ko daw siya pulo kay yung Kibuloy. nakiapid ako sa mga ministro. Parang dapat ko ninyo yung sa video.
Sandali I will try to fix the echo problem, sabi niya. Wala namang echo dito sa akin. How come may echo dyan? Pero, enough of that. Sabi ni Leticia Downing, i-live mo yung Senate hearing sa Lunes 28, bossing, para mapanood natin. Ay, nako, hindi pwede. You know what? On October 28, up to we are going to be on a cruise. Magku-cruise kami ng aking mahal sa buhay. Kaya malabong magkaroon ako ng LS. Kasi may echo pa ba?
28 doon. 27.
May echo ba?
Sa'yo, okay, but it's when you play the
Video? Hindi ko na ipi-play yung video. Okay. Hindi ko na ipi-play yung video kasi may echo daw, nakakairita. Sabi din ng aking misis. Pero kung mapapakinggan nyo, you will believe in my assertion na nag-take advantage po ang Apollo Kibuloy. Bakit mo susuportahan? Kung matino po ang isip mo, bakit mo isang susuportahan ang isang tao na walang hiya? Okay. Ay, sayang. Ay, 20 dyan sa Pilipinas, 27. Pwede pa pala. Sa 27, pwede. Pwede pong mag-LS po ako. Leticia. Okay. Okay. Ulitin ko. Alam mo na ngayon na walang hiya po si Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Ngayon, kung alam mo walang hiya, kung matino ang isip mo, hindi ko sinasabing walang hiya ka, na masamang tao ka. Pero kung matino ang isip mo, bakit mo susuportahan ang taong alam mo na walang hiya? Okay, yan ang second premise ko. Therefore, ang isang politiko na sumusuporta at tinidepensahan po si Apollo Kibuloy ay therefore katulad ninyo na sumusuporta kay Apollo Kibuloy, hindi rin matino ang pag-iisip. Kung hindi po matino ang pag-iisip, ay di dapat hindi pagkakatiwalaan. Bakit mo susuportahan ang isang matalino sa isang taong hindi matino ang pag-iisip? Okay. So na-establish na natin yan. And then, sino ang mga sumusuporta o i-defend si Pastor Kibuloy? Nandyan na po si Sen. Aimee. Di ba nung ginagawa niya excessive use of force, naniwala dyan. Kaya po, hindi din matino ang pag-iisip ni Sen. Aimee. Nandyan na rin ang mga Duterte. Kasi panay ang depensa nila kay Apollo Kibuloy. Kaya tanong ko, kayo na alam nyo na hindi po matino ang pag-iisip ng mga Duterte, bakit nyo pa susuportahan ang mga Duterte? Kita nyo ang logic? Huwag kayong magagalit sa akin. Logic lang ang ginamit ko. Ngayon, kung naniniwala kayo na hindi totoo po yung mga akasusyon nila kay Apollo Kibuloy, ay bahala na kayo. Nirespeto ko ang inyong stand. Pero nagkaroon naman kayo ng self-respect. Ang tawag doon ay self-respect po. Tungkol naman doon sa ADHIKAIN killings, ikinumpirma ng kapatid ni Kerwin Espinosa na siya daw po ay sinabihan ang kapatid niyan si Kerwin Espinosa ni Senator si Police Chief Bato de Rosa na isangkot si De Lima. Okay, that's another point. So, at pinatunayan din ito ni Colonel Espinido. So marami na pong nagpapatunay sa mga akusasyon laban kay Senator Bato de la Rosa. Bakit mo po boboto yan? Dapat hindi. Pinatunayan din ang sabi sabi na Kerwin Espinosa na ang tatay niya na si Mayor Espinosa ay nagmamakaawa. Dinaril pa rin siya. Ito po ang salaysay ng dalawa, isang inmate at saka isang provincial guard. Pero hindi po totoo na pinagtanggol ni Mr. Yap si Mayor Espinosa kasi magkaiba sila ng selda. Doon po na hindi po tama yung sinabi ni Kerwin Espinosa because wala naman siya doon. Kaya mayroon pong nagsabi siguro sa kanya na ganun nangyari. Isinalaysay niya ang kanyang narinig. Pero ang katotohanan, mayroon pong nag-corroborate sa testimonya talagang pinatay si Mayor Espinosa ng walang kalaban-laban. Nandun po sa news. Hindi ko lang maipresenta ngayon kasi hindi ko balak talagang talakayan ang mga ito. Okay. Yun po. Salamat Athron sa iyong komento na gawin tayo sa ibang discussion po. Pero hanggang dito na lang po tayo. Dito po sa channel ni Tatay Jack Ferds ay wala pong fake news. Ako nga ang aking opinion ay kinontra ng dalawa kong mga magagaling na commenters. Pero okay lang yan. Kanilang pananaw yun. Hindi kami na parehas parati ng pananaw. Pero nirerespeto namin ang pananaw ng iba. Kasi magalang po ang paglalahad nila ng kanilang opinion. Thank you, Texi William. Thank you, JNL. Thank you, Thrun Zala. Thank you, Liza Downing. Thank you po, Pineapple Veer, sa inyong mga partisipasyon, magaling na partisipasyon sa aking LS. Okay? So, that will be the end of my LS po. Papatugtog na lang tayo ng closing song. Okay? Ganyan ang ginagawa ko kasi pag patapos na ang aking live show. Okay? Ang aking closing song, courtesy of Jacob po.
Halina kayo, katatay Jack Channel. Pag siya ay nagsasalita, iintindihan mo ang mga balita. Mga balitang tunay na may bidensya. Itutuwid ang balita, ang mga fake news. Mga balitang walang pinagkakasihan. Kaya makinig na kayo at magkomento at ating pag-usapan. Pinapakinggan ang opinion mo at ito'y respeto at ating magkalakayan at may kantahan dito. Pantay-pantay tayo lahat kay Tatay First Channel na mga MAKIISA ating Pangulong para sa bayan nito. Minamahal ni Tatay Jack ang bagong Pilipino. Kaya halina kayo, mag-subscribe na at mag-enroll para sa susunod. Dapat malaman nyo, balitang tunay sa ating bansang Pilipinas.
Ganyan yan.
Mahal sa ating mga Pilipino, pinatutuloy ng balitang mali. News, kaya mag-ilan sa lahat. Kayo ay pangulay tayo dito. Pinapakinggan ang opinion mo. Respeto, ay pinagbago siya dito. At may kantahan Bye-bye, John!
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Salamat po. Updating po. Nadagdagan tayo ng ulit. 5,816 new subscribers na po. Salamat po sa pagtangkilik nyo sa aking munting channel. Makakaasa kayo na wala po akong ibabalita o ipapublish na fake news. Ito pong channel ay panlaban sa fake news. Dito kayo, maski hindi kayo sangayon sa aking opinion, pero ang balita ko na inilalat sa inyo ay totoong balita. Okay. Pag natin kalimutan ang mga paalala ko, basahin ko lang muna, patapos na. Inirase na ng YouTube ang aking mga paalala. Okay. So be it. So, salamat sa inyong pag-subaybay sa akin ulit. So, bye. Naka-1,000 tayong viewers. Surprising. Siguro sawa na sila sa mga hearing na yan. Pero magpe-present pa rin tayo ng ibang video ng hearing. Pero sa akin, mas importante po ang ginagawa ng presidente. Patunay na hindi po totoo yung mga pinagsasasabi ng ating busy presidente. Bye-bye. Love you all. May God keep you safe and warm. And may God bless you and your family and loved ones. Sana pagpalain kayo ng Diyos na may kapal. Magkita-kita ulit tayo sa susunod kong LS. Okay. Thank you po. Salamat po. Malaking utang na loob ko po sa inyo. Okay? Bye.